Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. We have been dealing with ethics in public administration in the earlier lecture. To continue on with that, we'll be looking about the salient aspects of ethics in public administration, listing out OECD's 8 key components for strong ethical framework, and finally looking into ethical issues in administration. So let's begin with salient aspects. Integrity. See, as an administrator, we should all know or act on the basis of honesty and not use his power position to serve his or her personal interest. So, this is something where we should maintain the integrity, legality, and rationality. An administrator should follow the law, rules, regulations which are framed to govern and guide various categories of policies and decisions. That's something legality and rationality speaks about. We should all follow that even in our own personal life. Excellence. Highest standards of quality should be maintained in administrative decisions, and compromising the standards should not happen. Impartiality. It is nothing but acting on solely on the merits of the case and serving the governments of different political parties and general public equally well. Like, you should refrain from your own personal opinions or actions which might demonstrate a bias towards a party or public in general. Neutrality. See, political neutrality is very crucial for democratic setup, particularly for the integrity, because it is required for the efficiency of the administration. We all should know that it means civil service should give free and frank advice to the government impartially and also implement the decisions of the government faithfully. Next one is dedication to public service. Spirit of service and sacrifice is an essential ingredient of the public services and public officials, where everyone should feel inspired that they're working for national cause, which is very much important for a public official. Devotion to the duty. An administrator on his part must always be committed towards his duty, perform his duties with involvement, intelligence, dedication. See, as Swami Vivekananda observed, every duty is holy and devotion to duty is the highest form of worship. That's something an administrator, public administrator, must have in his mind. Transparency. Working with clear transparency with the public and different stakeholders will help in understanding the reasons behind such decisions. Responsibility and accountability. An administrator should not hesitate to accept responsibility for the actions and should be morally accountable for his or her own decisions. Responsiveness and resilience. The administrator should respond effectively to demands and challenges from the external as well as the internal environment. Like, we should all know that administrators should adapt to the environmental transformation and but yet sustain the ethical norms of conduct. Maxim of utilitarianism. See, while making and implementing policies, we should always take benefits or happiness of the maximum people or the greatest number. Those decisions must be implemented. National interest. Civil servants, while performing duties, should always keep in view of the impact of his or her actions on the nation's strength and prestige. Public officials from any country it might be, while performing their official roles, have a back of their mind as a concern and respect for the nations. So, hope you guys are clear with the salient aspects of ethics in public administration. Moving on to the OECD's 8 key components for strong ethical framework. Political commitment for strong ethical governance. See, the politicians must be committed towards the ethical governance, and they should not be involved in illegal practices. That's what the first point says about creation of effective legal framework, proper laws with rules and regulations must be clearly involved to make it effective legal framework, evolving an efficient accountability mechanism. All civil servants must be held accountable, and proper mechanism must be evolved so that the checks and balances could be maintained. Need for evolving workable codes of conduct to maintain ethics. See, workable code of conducts like how you should deal with people, how you should address the crowd, and those workable codes must be evolved and put it into proper set. Professional socialization mechanisms like how you, I mean, it's nothing but training, like how you should deal with people, how you should take a field trip, what all actions you should take in a field trip. That's professional socialization mechanism. Creation of supportive public service conditions. See, when you eventually work towards public, a proper public service conditions can be developed. Need for central ethics coordinating body. A body can be evolved at a central level in a state, district, or even at the national level, which oversees the rest of the subordinate bodies for ethics, and it can be helped or held in implementing the ethical laws and regulations. And also the need for an energetic civil society which is able to act as a watchdog. A civil society is always a watchdog, like they look after or they see to that the ethical frameworks are definitely formed or followed when implementing certain actions. That's something which a civil society deals about. Now moving on to the next is the ethical issues in public administration. So first one is the misuse of discretionary power. Public welfare is mainly ignored as discretionary powers are abused for personal benefit and favoritism in the administration. A good example you can cite is IAS Pooja Singhal used her power for personal benefit and favoritism. We all have seen that in the recent past. Lack of importance to rules and regulations. Indian administration's lack of importance towards rules and regulations has led administrators towards red tapeism and also disregard towards justice, fairness, etc. Like high pendency of cases in courts due to adjournments on various rules and regulations is seen in the day-to-day basis. Lack of communication. Administration in India works through closed quarters, like closed communication and limited communication to the public along with the rigid hierarchy within the organization makes the communication process a bit difficult. Like a good example, like we don't public servants don't have the feedback mechanism from public official from public to the administrators. That's something which we lack of communication between two bodies. Negligence. A public official does not perform his or her professional duties or performs in a lethargic manner due to the lack of interest. Like this can be seen in the day-to-day basis, like railway coaches, the restrooms of the railway coaches are often not cleaned or not monitored appropriately. It is due to the negligence of officials. Corruption. Bribery and corruption are seen as rewards for the performance of obligatory work and are considered necessary evils that grease the wheels of departments. See, corruption, as we all know, it's one of the most hindering thing of the society which we must all deal with. Like India ranks 93 out of 180 countries in the Corruption Perceptions Index 2023, which is quite bad and must improve. Excessive security. Article 311 of the Constitution provides excessive security to public servants, and this reduces the enforcement of accountability. ill-conceived goals. When incentives are given for the achievement of any goal, but in spite of that, they promote a negative behavior. Like the bank manager of Utkala Gramin Bank in Odisha insisted on physical verification of a 100-year-old lady for withdrawal of money from Jan Dhan account. See, that's something which is not needed. Like it can eventually be dealt with properly. A 100-year-old lady. Okay, that's something which is not advised. Nepotism. The practice of nepotism may lead to the downgrading of the quality of public service. This is very much seen in all the sectors of India government, particularly in the private and public areas, like regional posts, political posts for the relatives in the politics in India. Next one is lobbying. Pressure groups raise issues and advocate for their cause, even though the request might not always be in the best interests of government or governance in the long run. Like, for example, like various political parties have given in the demands of loan waivers. See, that's going to eventually uh, put into vote bank politics, but at the same time, it's going to bring problem to the exchequer, exchequer of the state or national at the best. And one more example you can cite here is um, the protest of farmers for removing the farm laws. So that's again happened due to the lobbying. So hope you guys understood today's concept of salient aspects of ethics, OECD's 8 key components, and finally the ethical issues in public administration. Do watch the lecture, like, share, and subscribe the channel. We will continue in the next lecture. Thank you.